That means you can fit up to 50 Torontos in the Great Bear Lake. It's a pretty deep lake with a maximum depth of 446 meters and an average depth of 71.7 meters. And I would go as far as to say that this might be one of the most mysterious bodies of water on Earth. So in today's video, we're going to be diving deep.
Welcome back to another reaction video, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Thank you for clicking on this video. You're welcome to this channel.
Welcome.
And if you don't mind, we are West Africans and we react to any and everything Canadian. Today's video we're reacting to is the largest lake found entirely within Canada. So we're not doing Lake Superior, Ontario, and Michigan or whatever. This one is entirely within Canada. So let's see what this lake looks like. And if you don't mind, please subscribe and possibly join the channel
membership.
Yeah, if you know the person who look at you in the middle, that's Thelma. And the one with the mic is Tekla. And the person behind with the longer hair is Telsi.
Oh.
And my name is Ngong One.
Ngong Onengum.
You need to leave this place. You did not just hand over my entire name to the internet. That's dangerous, you know. Okay, let's go.
Now, I'm sure I know what you're thinking as soon as you read the title of this video.
Yeah.
How is Lake Superior not the largest lake in Canada?
Good question.
Well, that's because Lake Superior isn't exclusively Canadian. You see, about 2/3 of Lake Superior is actually located in the United States. While it is the largest lake located in North America, it cannot be considered the largest lake located exclusively within Canada. Okay, so maybe now you're thinking of another Great Lake. Well, it can't be Lake Michigan because that's located entirely within the US. So maybe Lake Huron, right? Wrong. While Lake Huron is an extremely large lake, the fourth largest in the entire world, it's still also shared between the US and Canada. And thus, it cannot be considered the largest lake exclusively within Canada.
I have a question. Where within the lake itself and there's water there, how do they know exactly where the boundary is finishing?
That's so crazy.
Yeah, because how do you know that you have already moved from the United States to Canada where you are still on the lake? Because surely there's a dividing line.
Yeah, maybe like there's something there like a color.
But how do you color something on water? That's the question. Please tell us. It's kind of fascinating to know how do they know where these boundaries end in water. And how do they even manage to share these places to know in the US has this amount of water and Canada has that amount?
Canada, and thus it cannot be considered the largest lake exclusively within Canada. So that begs the question, what is the largest lake located entirely within Canada? Now, I know many people probably know the answer to that question, but if you don't, pause this video right now, go into the comments below, and type in what you think the answer to that question is. And as always, this is Ali, and welcome back to Urban Atlas.
Okay, a quick hydration break, guys.
I thought you wanted to answer the question, like, since you don't know, you have to pause the video and go to the comment section and
answer the question.
Yes.
Yeah. So the name of the largest lake within Canada itself is Lake of the place in Canada. It's the lake in Canada. It's the one we're about to see.
You know it, right?
Yeah. Do you doubt that we're going to see it?
No.
I promise you we're going to see it. So that's the answer. So never mind. Never doubt it. Okay. Urban Atlas.
So to answer that question, the largest lake located entirely within Canada and not shared with the US is the Great Bear Lake. It's the fourth largest lake in all of North America and the eighth largest in the entire world. This massive lake is located in the Northwest Territories, right on the Arctic Circle. And because of this, winter temperatures here can drop to -40 degrees Celsius. And the sun, well, that doesn't rise for months during the polar night. It has a surface area of 31,153 square kilometers. That means you can fit up to
31,000 square kilometers. Do you know a kilometer square is equals to 100 hectares?
A kilometer.
1 kilometer square is equals to 100 hectares.
No.
So 1,000 kilometers square is 100 times 1,000.
Unimaginable.
100,000 hectares.
It's not even something to think about because that is extremely extreme.
That is wild. It's almost as big as the whole of the central region in Cameroon.
Of 31,153 square kilometers. That means you can fit up to 50 Torontos in the Great Bear Lake. It's a pretty deep lake with a maximum depth of 446 meters and an average depth of 71.7 meters. And I would go as far as to say that this might be one of the most mysterious bodies of water on Earth. So in today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the Great Bear Lake. Despite being the fourth largest lake in North America, it's still enormous. It has a length of approximately 330 kilometers and a maximum width of 170.
330 kilometers, right? From here to Bamenda is 370 kilometers. From here to Bamenda is 370 kilometers and 330 kilometers. That's just coming short of 40 kilometers. Yeah.
Why is the name bear on it?
Great Bear Lake.
Yeah,
I think you have
it's
like
a
the
bear.
shape of a bear or something. We don't know. Kind of look like like a bear that's opened the mouth.
Width of 170 kilometers. Its length is approximately the same distance from Toronto all the way to Ottawa. And for up to 8 months of the year, from November all the way to July, this lake is locked under ice up to 2 meters thick. The ice is so solid that massive trucks can drive across it, creating temporary highways to otherwise unreachable communities. The human story of Great Bear Lake stretches back 8,000 years. Archaeological evidence suggests that Indigenous people have continuously inhabited this region since the end of the last glacial maximum, making this one of the longest continuously occupied places in the Arctic. According to the local Dene people who live along the shores of the lake was formed when a great bear spirit lay down to sleep and never woke up. His massive body became the lake. His breath became the mists that rise from the water, and his spirit remains as the guardian.
Please, let's get this small story first, and I'm going to tell you a story after that. Hold on.
Spirit lay down to sleep and never woke up. His massive glacial maximum, making this one of the longest continuously occupied places in the Arctic. According to the local Dene people who live along the shores of the lake was formed when a great bear spirit lay down to sleep and never woke up. His massive body became the lake. His breath became the mists that rise from the water, and his spirit remains as the guardian of all life in the region. These people developed a sophisticated seasonal cycle around the lake.
That I'm so surprised that Canadians have like such superstitious beliefs too, because there's a lake around my area called Lake Oku. Okay, and obviously you can search the name. Lake Oku is OKU. Is a crater lake, and the running story was that what my grandmother told was that the lake was supposed to be in my village, and the person who came with the lake, he came with water in a leaf, in a cocoyam leaf tied, and then he came and rested in someone's house, and then he asked for food, and then the next plan was that the next morning he was going to go out to a field, because in my village there are mountains everywhere, and then there's a big plain valley, like flat. There were no houses there, and the plan was that he will go there in the morning and open that leaf for it to form a lake in that valley, right? It's a very sacred place in my village. They just recently started building there. In the past, nobody built a house there, because if you build a house there, the next morning you are going to not go find anything there. Yes. The next day you are going to find nothing. If you build a house, the next day you go find the place just as empty as it was. Maybe it was the village bandit that used to go and scatter it and carry it. You never know. It was mysterious. But so the plan was that he will get up in the morning and go open that leaf for the lake to form in the valley, in the plain valley, and the next morning the people of the village refused that he should not do that. So he left and went to Oko, and then when he went to Oko, the founder of Oko showed him the place to go and open the leaf there. So he went on top of the mountain, went and opened, and the lake formed there. Yeah, so I don't really believe the story, because I simply think that that's a crater. That's a crater lake coming from the mouth of a volcano, and it's on the mountain. Obviously we have mountains that have been volcanically active for thousands of years. So it's obviously when you look at the shape of it, you see that it's a crater lake.
Yeah.
So bad. That's the running story. And for Canadians to
You also explain about something like
yeah, for me, I'm surprised. And the story almost is going the same.
Yeah, it's almost going like
it's almost going the same. Yeah. So I never believed that for once, but my grandmother told me that. So people believe that in my village, all the lakes are considered very sacred objects, especially that Lake Oko. Every year, the king of Oko, he will go around the lake. He will take a goat, he will hold it with all his traditional rulers. They will go around the lake gradually making their incantations. When they finally come and reach the where they started, they're going to slay the goat and pour the blood into the river, and then go and then eat the goat in the palace.
Why can they not give the goat to the river?
The goats only drink blood.
These people developed a sophisticated seasonal cycle around the lake, summer camps along the shores for fishing, and winter settlements in protected valleys and carefully managed hunting grounds to sustain families for generations. Their traditional knowledge of this region encompasses far more than just survival skills. They developed a complex understanding of fish behavior, weather patterns, ice formation, and wildlife cycles. The first European to reach Great Bear Lake was likely John Franklin in 1825, but by then, indigenous trade networks had already brought European goods to the region for decades. The real disruption came with the establishment of the permanent trading posts and the fur trade economy. But the Dene culture proved remarkably resilient. Throughout the colonial period and into present day, elders worked to preserve their traditional knowledge, languages, and spiritual practices. Today, there's a powerful cultural revival movement with young people learning traditional skills and stories from their grandparents. And in 1993, the Dene signed a comprehensive land agreement that recognized their rights to traditional territories around Great Bear Lake.
You talk about learning stories from their grandparents. Their grandmother used to tell you guys stories like those tales stories kind of.
Yeah.
You put your answer.
Yeah.
But you did not grow up with your grandmother.
I grew with my grandmother, but
She did not used to tell you guys stories like that.
she did, but not that kind of,
My grandmother was a master of storytelling.
No, she was not like a master of storytelling.
Yeah.
Yes.
For my grandmother, in my village, my quarter where we live, my neighborhood, my grandfather and three other people were the first people to settle there. So they used to pass there as kids, like in the bush, and it was just like a range where cattle used to pass. Yeah. And my grandmother would tell us stories and tell us. In the evening, we would go to my grandmother's house. She would tell stories. At one point, she would start sleeping, and then we would wake her up.
Say, continue with
the story.
You cannot gather the crowd and you're about to go to sleep.
So she's a very good storyteller. My paternal grandmother, because my maternal grandmother, she would not tell us any stories.
You literally collect.
You need to leave it like that.
The land agreement that recognized their rights to traditional territories around Great Bear Lake. This helped them restore their role as environmental stewards of the land their ancestors had protected for millennia. Now the lake has a very interesting geography. It has up to 5 arms, those being the Smith Arm, which is located to the northwest, the Dease Arm, which is located to the northeast, the McTavish Arms in the southeast, the McVicker Arm in the south, and the Keith Arm in the southwest. The lake is known for its incredibly clear water. It is said that when explorer John Franklin placed a white rag in the water, it did not disappear from his sight until it exceeded a depth of over 27 meters. Now, if we really want to understand Great Bear Lake, we need to go back 20,000 years to its formation. At the height of the last ice age, this entire region used to be buried under ice sheets up to 2 kilometers thick. And this ice was so heavy it literally pressed the Earth's crust down like a giant thumb pushing it into a soft clay. And these massive ice sheets moved through the landscape. They carved out enormous depressions in the bedrock. The Laurentide ice sheet, the largest of these glacial giants, gouged out what would become Great Bear Lake. And as the ice began to retreat approximately 13,000 years ago, it didn't just leave behind the lake we see today. Instead, it created something even more spectacular, Glacial Lake McConnell, a prehistoric super lake that was absolutely massive and one that probably deserves its own video in the future. This lake covered over 200,000 square kilometers, larger than the entire state of North Dakota. It stretched from what is now Great Bear Lake all the way south to Lake Athabasca, encompassing the Great Slave Lake and connected waterways to a vast swath of northern Canada. And as the ice continued to retreat and new drainage routes opened up, this massive lake gradually drained and separated into the individual lakes we know today. Great Bear Lake is essentially the northern remnant of this ancient giant. Great Bear Lake straddles the boundary between the Canadian Shield and the interior platform, as well as biomes like the tundra and the northern boreal forest. The northeastern coast of the lake features fjord-like bays with numerous islands as well as sharp cliffs, while the southwest shores of the lake are flatter with spruce and large swaths of muskeg. Because of its great size, Great Bear Lake has a shore length of 2,719 kilometers and includes 26 main islands. There are several rivers that flow into Great Bear Lake. These include the Whitefish River, the Big Spruce River, the Bloody River, and the Johnny Ho River.
Why do you call something the Bloody River? Like a bloody civilian. I'm not sure it's having the red color because even the Red Sea is not red. The Yellow Sea. There's another one called the Yellow Sea. The Black Sea.
Fish River.
I said the Black Sea is not black.
Yeah.
The Big Spruce River, the Bloody River, and the Johnny Ho River, and many others.
Okay.
The main outlet of the lake is the Great Bear River, which flows into the larger Mackenzie River and eventually into the Arctic Ocean. Now, most of the rivers that surround Great Bear Lake drain nutrient-poor lands, which, combined with the cold temperature and considerable depth, means that the lake supports relatively few plants and animal species. And thus, as one of Canada's large lakes, Great Bear Lake has the fewest number of different fish species, that being only 16, with the most popular being lake trout. In fact, Great Bear Lake is known as one of the world's greatest places to go lake trout fishing.
Wow.
That's because the lake trout here can live up to 60 years, which is some of the oldest freshwater fish in the world. The North Shore of Great Bear Lake witnesses one of nature's greatest spectacles, the migration of hundreds of thousands of caribou. Grizzly bear fish in its tributaries, while wolves patrol the tree line. In winter, musk oxen brave the extreme cold, their prehistoric appearance making them seem like survivors from another age.
Muskog.
Now, there's
It looked like a bison. I mean, when you think that you figure out these Canadian animals, they come up with a new one.
only really one community located on the shores of this lake, that being Deline. This is a very small community with a population of 573 residents. And as you can imagine, because of its isolation, there are no permanent roads to this community, and access is only done by the Deline Airport and ice roads in the winter. Historically, two other communities have existed on the shores of Great Bear Lake, that being Fort Confidence and Port Radium. Both of these communities have long been abandoned. Despite its shores only home to a few hundred people, the lake has a long history of mining. You see, in 1930, a discovery on the eastern shores of Great Bear Lake would change the course of world history. Prospectors here found uranium ore located near Port Radium. And not just any uranium, but some of the richest deposits ever found. The uranium mined from Great Bear Lake helped create the atomic bombs that ended World War II. Approximately 3 mines had opened on Great Bear Lake. The largest was the El Dorado mine.
Know about uranium from chemistry. These people supply the Manhattan Project's uranium.
Manhattan.
You know about the project of atomic bomb called the Manhattan Project. Yeah. Sure that the uranium came from Canada. And even up to today, about our first video that we did, how Canada secretly hold America's survivor hostage.
Yeah. They talked about uranium. I think aluminum was part of it.
Aluminium. We talked about electricity.
Yes.
And crude oil. And several things. And even fresh water sometimes too. That's cool.
And here, radium and silver was mined until the
radium.
Second World War, when labor shortages and decreased demand forced the mines to close. However, in 1942, the Canadian government secretly reopened the El Dorado mine to extract uranium, most of which would go on to the Manhattan Project. Uranium mining continued on Great Bear Lake until the El Dorado mine closed again in 1960.
Okay.
And thus, the ore processed from these remote mines was converted into plutonium, which was used to make Fat Man, the bomb dropped on Nagasaki. And for decades, mining operations scarred the landscape around the lake. Workers, many of them indigenous, were exposed to radiation without proper protection, and thus the environmental and health costs, well, they were enormous. The legacy of uranium mining at Great Bear Lake is complex. While the mines brought economic opportunities to remote communities, they also left behind contaminated soil, abandoned structures, and health concerns that persist to this day. Massive cleanup efforts have been undertaken. The goal is to return the land to its natural state. But the question remains, can you ever truly undo decades of industrial impact in such a delicate ecosystem? The good news is that the lake itself has shown remarkable resilience, but the surrounding area will require careful management for generations to come. One of the most fascinating aspects of this lake are the prophecies that Indigenous people have towards it. You see, a Dene elder, widely regarded as a prophet, has made some prophecies regarding Great Bear Lake. His prophecy or prediction for the end times claims that as the world dries up, the little remaining life will flock to and end on the banks of Great Bear Lake. And during those difficult times, this lake will be seen as a physical beating heart to humanity. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this prophecy. Looking at the condition of the world now and where we're heading into the future, do you think there could be some truth to this? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, if you like content like this, give this video a like. And if you want to support my channel and my content, be sure to check out my YouTube shop for digital prints of many Canadian cities.
At least you have seen the name of his channel, Urban Atlas. And yeah, we are going to be linking the video in the description about the prophecy. I don't know about that.
Me too. I'm just surprised that there is something like prophecy.
Yeah, there's a prophecy that everybody's going to go like to the banks of the Great Bear Lake. What about people that don't even know about it?
Everybody in the world, including you.
Everybody, even if it's all Canadians, it's still impossible because it's possible that there are Canadians that don't know about the Great Bear Lake. It's extremely possible, like millions of them that might not know about the Great Bear Lake. And it's obvious because there are so many lakes in this country that you have no idea. Of course. Of course. So, well, it's respectable. He has his own worth. You know what? Thank you for watching.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup, mes amis.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.